Is the member going to call?
Sorry, Mr. Speaker.
I call the honourable member John Hayes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No hyperbole in that speech at all, none whatsoever. It's interesting, though, that there's no public announcement of what the decisions are within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and its change until the 10th of May. No hyperbole at all. What nonsense, Mr. Goff. Let me say to you this. Our government inherited a situation where the economy was out of control. And you, Mr. Goff, and Mr. Peters, your Foreign Minister at this time, in your last year of office, put bucket loads of money into the Foreign Ministry, which this country could not afford. You opened posts in all directions, and I know, because staff talked to me, Mr. Chairman, staff talked to me, and they were saying, we've got so much money that we've been given, we don't know where we should put it. Meanwhile, that money was actually coming out of the pockets of your workers and my constituents. This money does not grow on trees, and this government has been put in place by the community after 9 long years of mismanagement to put things right. Labor increased spending by $22 billion in the last 5 years it was in office. So we employed a Secretary of Foreign Affairs, and he was given quite clear instructions about looking at the management of that sector and trying to work out how to move resource from the back office to provide services to the community and to provide foreign affairs services. So what happened? A consultation document. Well, of course it was constructed by the minister. That's why you have ministers. I realise the member hasn't been in this House sufficiently long to understand how it works, but that's another problem. The ministry staff were invited to comment on the range of changes that were being proposed back in February, and a number of people reared up on their hind legs. And if they, the day the document was put on the table, people went berserk, leaked documents to Mr. Goff, who said that he was getting leaks in triplicate, and then Mr. Goff started saying that the consultation document, a draft document, was the end result. Well, it's not. All of the ministry's heads of mission were brought back to Wellington about a month ago, and their views were taken into account. The minister was involved through that process, as was the secretary, and I commend the minister actually for doing an excellent job. And he would be here in the South, he would be here in this House this afternoon defending himself if he wasn't doing a particularly good job with his other forum colleagues in Fiji right now. And I can assure this House, Mr. McCulley has been doing an absolutely outstanding job helping bring normalisation of events back into Fiji. So after the consultation document went to staff, there was a considerable amount of feedback from them and other stakeholders, including the government. Many of the proposals were revised by Ministry's management, and in essence, the initial proposal perhaps contained too many moving parts at one point in time, and it's good that I think that the Minister has said to the Ministry, you need to look at that issue. Now, the decision document will be available to staff on the 10th of May, and at that point we'll be interested in Mr. Goff's comments, because in my conversations with the same staff that talked to Mr. Goff, it is quite clear to me that younger staff members see huge opportunity in the changes that are coming up, and they're really excited about the process. We have to follow the rest of the world. The only way in this country that we are going to move ourselves forward to pay for health and education is if the money coming into the country exceeds the money that goes out for things that we export. And the Foreign Ministry has a really important role in this area, and this is why we're trying to make sure that we're doing our level best for the Ministry to operate in a focused way. We are interested particularly in two issues: trade and economic issues. That's why we've strengthened the promotion of New Zealand's export goods and services through our New Zealand Inc. approach of coordinated government agencies. That's why the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister and the Minister of Trade have led trade missions to the Gulf region, China, Hong Kong, Brazil, Mexico, India, Singapore, Malaysia and Indonesia. That's why we continue to work with developing a single economic market agenda with Asia.
Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call the honourable member Andrew Williams.
Thank you, Mr.